Hey guys, so today we have a get ready with me. I have a lot of topics to get through because I haven't filmed a video on this channel for like 5 days, which to some YouTubers might seem like a short amount of time, and to me it's like I've been gone for a month. There have been a few updates in my life, so let's get started. I also have changed up the way I do my makeup, and that happens a lot. Like sometimes I'll tell you guys, oh, this is exactly how I do my makeup. And then a week later, I'm like, oh, actually, now I want to do it the whole opposite way. So let's just get into it. I've switched up my routine for wintertime because, as you guys know, my skin is a little bit of a problem. The way it works is it doesn't work. Like, yeah, my skin's clear and like I don't usually have many breakouts, but my skin's very inconsistent with the oil production. So one day it'll be super dry, one day it'll be super oily. I can't figure it out. But now I have like a routine for wintertime that works for me, surprisingly. So I'm going to show you that, how I do my winter skin so that it still looks nice and glowy, but it doesn't get oily. I have a few new products, I have a few old products, and I have a few topics to get through, so let's get into it. YouTube has been unsubscribing people, so scroll down, and if you were subscribed, make sure you still are subscribed, and if this is your first video that you're watching, please consider subscribing and joining the 150,000 people that have decided to join here. We've hit 150k. How fantastic is that? Very fantastic. Also, turn on post notifications to all rather than personalized, and you have more of a chance to figure out when I'm uploading, so that's a really good thing. I also got a puppy, but she's sleeping right now. Her name's Phoebe. She's a little cockapoo. She's a Cocker Spaniel Poodle mix. And I think it's a toy poodle. Most are mixed with miniature poodles, but she happened to be a toy poodle, so she's going to be really tiny. And she's sleeping, so I'm not going to wake her up because then she gets really wild and crazy and she's going to bite me because she's going through a teething stage right now. Not fun. There was this family that had a litter of, why am I not doing my makeup? There was this family that had a litter of, I believe, 5, and when I found out about them, they only had one girlie left, and it was Phoebe. She's in her little crate there, just having a nap. When she comes out, I'll show her to you guys. And they only had one girlie left, and they were like, yep, she's the tiniest one, she's a girlie, and you can have her if you want. And I was just like, she's mine. So yeah, I have a little Phoebe now, and she's great. She knows how to do sit. She's kind of potty trained. She has a few accidents, and that's fine. That's why I have a little pee pad next to her crate just in case, because she does know to go on the pee pad, but sometimes she doesn't let me know when she needs to go pee, and the garden's downstairs, so there's no way she's going to make it there on her own because she's about this small and she would die if she attempted the staircase. So sometimes she'll like squeal at me, I don't really know what it means, and then all of a sudden she's kneeling over the pee pad and she's peeing. But at least she does on the pee pad. I really appreciate the effort, if you ask me. So let's get into it, I recently bought, just to try it out, I was just being curious, and curiosity got me here. I bought I think this is the smaller bottle. I think they have a bigger one, I'm not sure. This is the Colourpop No Filter Primer, which is actually a mattifying / blurring primer, which I haven't used those for a while, but I really like it. Oops, I forgot. I do my routine the other way around now, and I don't do primer because then I'm gonna have to wipe it off. I've started doing my eyeshadow first and then my base because I find that actually works. Who would have thunk it? Beauty gurus have been telling me all along, do your eyeshadow first, and I was like, no, I'm gonna have fallout all over my cheeks before I do that. And then one time I just did it and I was like, oh, this is why they do it, because it makes everything so much easier to clean up. I haven't been on this channel for 5 days. In those 5 days, I've been collecting topics to talk to you guys about. I have a little list so I don't forget anything, because sometimes I feel like I get like into doing my makeup and then I forget to bring up topics that I really wanted to bring up. Anyway, what's my first topic? Puppy. I got her on Saturday and it is a Friday. So I've had her for 6 days-ish, and she's great. She hasn't really done any damage. I mean, she tries to bite things, but we keep an eye on her. We never leave her alone in a room. So if I'm going downstairs, she's coming downstairs with me. If I'm in my room, she's in my room and the door's closed so that we can just hang out in a small space. Also find that when she's in a smaller space as a puppy, she just doesn't go as crazy, because I feel like because she's so tiny and this is still a relatively new environment for her, I find if I leave her too much open space, she doesn't really know what to do with herself, so she just like zooms around and does a lot of mayhem, and then she pees out of excitement. So what I find is smaller spaces for her are just much better for her to like focus on what she's doing, mainly if it's like eating or trying to pee, or if I'm trying to train her. I find being in a smaller room, it's just a little bit better. I've started using the Glossy brow flick again because I ran out of my Colourpop pencil and I forgot how to use this properly. I mean, I've figured it out now, but the first time I used it, I was just so confused. I was like, what is happening? I'm just using up all of my brow products because I have way too many on hand. I also broke my nail yesterday and it hurt really bad. I'm not going to show it to you guys because it's kind of gross, but you know what happens when you're like, the nail rips really close to the like meat of your finger and it like starts bleeding? Yeah, yeah, that happened because it was broken from both sides and I didn't have time to fix it. And then Phoebe got her ball stuck under a cupboard, and I reached in and my brain didn't comprehend the space that I had, and I smacked into the wall at the end. I just felt like a stinging feeling, and I knew that it was game over for my nail. And then I took it out and yeah, it wasn't the best. I've just haven't had time to do my nails because obviously I got Phoebe. I just had to take care of her and still do videos and stuff, so did not have time for self-care. She's actually managed to not cry that much at night. Her first night, I think I woke up 5 times or 6. I read somewhere that it's like if your dog's crying in the crate, you can ignore them for about, you know, like a few minutes, see if they go back to sleep. But if they start crying for like a really prolonged amount of time, usually that means they need to go to the toilet. So get up, go to the toilet, don't, you know, go, oh, just take them outside, let them pee, let them do their thing, back into the crate and ignore. And then they'll know that if they cry, that doesn't mean playtime, it means pee time. So I've been doing that, and I've been trying to not play with her, but you know, once she like fully wakes up, she's just insane. So I've been not getting, you know, the best rest that I could possibly be getting. As a whole, I don't sleep much. I mean, I go to sleep at like 12 to 1 and then I wake up at 7:30 every day. And I've been waking up at 9 a.m. purely because I'm losing sleep in the middle of the night. It hasn't been a full week yet. I think I read somewhere that puppies don't stop peeing in the middle of the night until they're like 16 to 20 weeks. That's when they can start to sleep through the whole night and actually hold their pee. But obviously, you know, an 8-week-old puppy is essentially a newborn. So she's obviously, just like human babies, she's not going to be able to hold throughout the whole night, and that's fine. I think we have like a bit of a schedule now. She usually wakes up at around 3 to 4 a.m. and then around 5 to 6 a.m. and then she'll wake up at around 8 a.m. So that's kind of the routine we've got going. Usually out of those 3, she'll only go to pee twice out of those 3 times. One time she'll just wake up to cry and then she just goes back to sleep. And the other 2 times I usually have to take her out, and I'll know based on how long she's crying for. If it's like 20 seconds of just like slight crying, I'll like look at her, be like trying to gauge what she's trying to tell me, and then she goes back to sleep. Then I know she doesn't need to pee, she just woke up, didn't really know where she was, what she was doing, and then once she saw me, she just went back to sleep. And then other times she'll cry for like a minute and I'm like, oh, pee time. Obviously when I picked her up by car, but I was holding her on my lap in like a blanket. And the other day, it was the first time when I actually took her in a car, in a carrier. It's very important, like even if I'm not going anywhere, I'm still going to take her with me just so she gets used to driving in the car, because I'm hoping to, you know, like once things in life goes back to normal and she's a little more grown up, I think it'll be nice to just like take her with us, like when we go, like, I don't know, to the beach or something, you know. It'd be nice to take her with us for like a weekend away, but she needs to know how to, you know, stay in a carrier for prolonged amounts of time. Is she awake? I need to go take a pee-pee. Be right back, guys. Here's Phoebe, you guys, because she just took a pee-pee, and I know it's embarrassing. I'm telling everyone that you did a pee-pee. Everyone knows. Oh, chomp. There she is. So yeah, that's Phoebe. So let's continue where I was. I don't really know where I was. So yeah, I've just started doing my brows like this. What I'm gonna use is a palette I haven't used yet, which is the Nude Mood from Colourpop. I bought a bunch of stuff from Colourpop, so now I've got just like a bunch of very like basic neutral palettes, which I really like because I use these with my Pat McGrath shimmers. So I like having these and then filling in with my Pat McGrath shimmers. So now I used to have the Going Coconuts. Well, I still do, but as in like I bought that one kind of first, I believe. It's like a neutral palette. And then after that, Making Mauves, which is like a mauvey palette. And then after that, I bought the That's Taupe palette, which is taupe. She's playing with a toy, we'll just ignore that. And then recently I bought the Blush Crush, which is pink, and the Nude Mood, which is nude. So I feel like I've got warm tones, neutrals, cool tones, then cool toned pinks, and then warm toned pinks. So I have everything. I used this one the other day, so I'm gonna use the Nude Mood today because I still haven't used it. I have this rule where if I buy multiple palettes, I have to use them at least once, like all of them at least once before moving to like using palettes twice, essentially. Like I can't use a palette twice, or a palette that I already owned, until I use all of my new palettes at least once, because I know if I actually like it or not, and I don't forget to use it, essentially. I'm just setting the brow bone bit with Bluffin. I always set my brow bone and the inner corner with like one of those bone / white shades. So I do that like this, and then I just set kind of around the edges there. In my inner corner, the outer edge, the inner corner, and it just helps to softly begin blending your eyeshadow. I think this works. I love it. I love the method, and I'll continue to use it. We'll go with Bare to Wear, which is just like this really light shade. I kind of want to go with a bigger brush just through the crease. What else? What other topics did I have? So actually, coincidentally, today I posted a really irrelevant tweet on Twitter. Like, you know when it's like one of those tweets where it's just like not important at all, like you're almost treating your Twitter account the way other people would treat their Twitter accounts. By other people, I mean just people whose job isn't social media, essentially is what I'm saying. Sometimes we forget that this is like our job, and you know, people are just gonna get mad over stupid things. I feel like, and I hate that I've done that to myself, but I feel like I've really stopped expressing too many opinions, not because my opinions are problematic, but because opinions nowadays are such a polarizing thing where if I say I like red, someone will legit have a go at me because they like blue, and they think that I should change my opinion to the fact that I like blue because they like blue and they want everyone else to have the same opinion as them. So what was it? I went on this subreddit called Am I the Asshole, which you guys must have heard of it. It's pretty popular. I sometimes wonder if it's real or if those submissions are fake. They could be fake, you know. What's stopping people? She's sleeping again. There was one, I literally clicked on it, and the first one that came up was a story of a proposal. A couple met on a video game forum. They kind of talked about a marriage, a proposal, but not really in much detail considering he didn't know a very key aspect of it. And he actually got her essentially merch. He got her Skyrim, which is the game that they met on, merch. He got her like you know how some games will have like special items and then they'll turn those items into like collectibles that you can genuinely like collect, or you can custom make yourself some like video game merch. And he got her a necklace that was supposed to be, I know nothing about Skyrim as a game, I haven't played it, but he got her something kind of like a necklace that's I guess prevalent in the game, and it's super like out there, like it looks like merch. It doesn't look like a necklace. It doesn't matter how expensive you make it, you know, or how affordable you make it, it just looks like merch. It's not something that she could wear every day, and she said that herself, like it's not something that she could wear to the office. So to get proposed to and then not be able to wear the thing that's been proposed to you with ever really is, you know, a little bit of a tricky situation. So he proposes to her with that necklace, which would have been perfectly fine if she had wanted that, but she didn't. She wanted a ring, and he brings out this, you know, Skyrim necklace. And she gets really upset, and she's like, hey, I really appreciate this, but could I also get a ring? And he had a go at her. He basically just said no. And he said, am I the asshole? And everyone was like, yes, you're proposing to her, so you should be doing something that makes her happy. And I don't think that makes her selfish. I mean, rings don't have to be expensive. Just because she wanted a ring doesn't mean she wanted a 50 grand diamond ring. She could have literally just wanted like a nice stone or something with a bit of metal. He literally could have spent £50 on a ring, and it would have been probably something that she wanted a little bit more than a video game necklace. He then updated the post, and he said that, you know, after being called an asshole, he decided that she was correct and that everyone else was correct, and that he was going to buy her a ring. They went ring shopping, and they're married now. Wonderful story, but it was just really funny to me just how that whole thing went down. So I tweeted out, petty me, basically tweeted out something like, this is really funny. If someone proposes to me with video game merch, or no, did I say costume jewelry? Because it is costume jewelry. If you buy merch that is, let's say like a necklace based on a game, that is considered costume jewelry because you're supposed to wear it with a costume when you're cosplaying, right? That's what they were made for. Like, you don't usually wear those every day. You wear them as part of a costume when you're cosplaying as your favorite video game character. I'm not saying people don't wear costume jewelry out, even merch. I think people are allowed to, but it was typically made for cosplaying, and then people can obviously wear it however they want to wear it. I just said, if someone proposes to me with costume jewelry from, like, even if it's my favorite game, from my favorite game, I will die. But the girlfriend was really sweet about the whole situation, the fact that she still, you know, went along with it. She wasn't too, like, upset. They managed to work it out and get married. I'm very happy for them. Well, obviously some people are just like, oh, like, I would still appreciate the gesture, which I was like, yeah, of course. Like, if that's something you appreciate, that's something you appreciate. Like, I'm not going to tell you to not appreciate. I'm saying I would die. And that's when it became polarizing again. It's like, there was this account that was clearly there to troll. I'm not going to like pay too much attention to them. It was like having a go at anyone that disagreed. They were like, you're so shallow. I'm like, shallow because someone wants a ring instead of merch for a proposal? Like, that's not shallow. That's clearly just having traditional points of view on marriage, which is perfectly fine. People are allowed to have traditional points of view of marriage. I would like a ring. I wouldn't want a necklace. because I'm not going to wear a necklace every day. I don't wear necklaces. And if someone got me a necklace, knowing I don't wear necklaces, then they don't know me well enough, right? Because before you propose to someone, you should probably have the conversation of what would they like. If you propose to someone with some jewelry and you expect them to wear it every day for the rest of their life or until you get divorced, that was very negative, then it should probably be something that they really enjoy. Like, you can't force someone to wear something every day of their life for the rest of their life that they really hate. I think that's really mean, and it doesn't make someone shallow for saying, I don't like this and I don't want to wear it for the rest of my life. But that's just my opinion. I think people should be given the choice of what jewelry they're going to wear for the rest of their life. And I think just in general, as a human being, I'm very against surprise proposals. If someone, even if I was madly in love with them, if someone proposed to me without talking to me about it first, I would have to say no and move the proposal to a different time frame. I'm not saying no for the rest of my life. I'm just saying, no, we need to like talk about this. Because I think there needs to be a lot of conversations before you propose to someone or before you're proposed to. I think, you know, finances, life, just like where you're going, even what ring you want. I mean, I'm not a big fan of surprise proposals because I think they put the person on the spot where maybe they didn't really want to be married yet, and you're putting them in a situation where they feel bad saying no because they do love you. They're just not ready. And it leads to situations like this where someone's not aware of what someone really likes and they're just kind of doing what they think is correct rather than what the other person would have probably enjoyed more. And that was basically my tweet, but just put in a really jokey way. I was essentially joking. It's morning. I was playing with Phoebe. I didn't even think twice about it. I was just like, haha, I would if someone proposed to me with merch. Like, my opinion, don't have to agree with it. You can be proposed to with merch and that's perfectly fine. It doesn't make you any lesser of a person than me, and it doesn't make me any better than you or any lesser than you. We just have different opinions when it comes to proposals, and it had nothing to do with price. At no point did I put a price in the tweet. I didn't say, oh, if you don't propose to me with a 50k 50 carat diamond ring, I'm gonna drop dead. Like, I just said, don't propose to me with much. You know, there was this one account that was clearly a troll. It was a burner account, and they admitted it was a burner account, where they were like, you're so shallow, yada yada, which they're allowed to have their opinion. I basically replied saying, I don't think I'm shallow, because they basically said, you're so shallow, so what if someone doesn't propose to you with an expensive ring? It's not thoughtful. And I said, where in the tweet did I mention price? Where in the tweet did I mention how much the ring is worth? Where in the tweet did I mention anything about how much I think a ring should be worth? I just said, I would prefer a ring. They were like, oh, I was just a fan of you and now I'm disappointed. And I hate when people pull that stuff where they're like, you're not allowed to have your opinion because I'm a fan of you, and now because you expressed that opinion, I'm disappointed. It's like, okay, well, then unfollow me. Because clearly if us two having different opinions on such a trivial topic bothers you so much, then maybe you just shouldn't watch my videos or you shouldn't follow me on Twitter. I think people are allowed to have different opinions on life situations or life decisions. I'm allowed to think proposals should go one way and you're allowed to think proposals should go a different way. I might not want to get married at all and you might really want to get married. So what if a guy proposes to me and I'm super like anti-marriage and I said no to him? Is that me being shallow? Is that me being mean because what, I didn't consider his feelings? And it's like, people have different opinions and stuff, and I think that needs to be respected. I love how this shadow blends. I think it looks really nice. I just thought like, okay, so I just said, look, you can unfollow me because if my opinions bother you this much, then you can just unfollow me. That's perfectly, like, I'm not gonna be offended. Just go. And she was like, well, no, I don't think I should unfollow you. I think you should just grow up and admit that you're wrong. I quote tweeted her and I said, opinions can't be wrong in the grand scheme of things. You can think opinions are immoral. You can think opinions are unethical. You can think opinions are problematic. But opinions in the very like basic sense of the word can't be correct or incorrect because they're opinions. They're not based on facts. They don't have to be based on facts. I could be saying that grass is blue and it doesn't have to be based on facts. I could be saying, in my opinion, grass is blue, and like, I'm not gonna change my opinion. And as much as you might think that's really stupid, as long as I'm not saying for a fact grass is blue, there is no issue there. So I basically just said, PSA, opinions can't be wrong. If I'm expressing a non-problematic opinion, so like I'm not going after a minority group or I'm not being discriminatory, if it's just a non-problematic opinion that is different to yours, I don't have to change it to grow up. Me changing my opinion will not make me grow up. Me trying to make everyone happy by not having an opinion will not make me grow as a person. It will not make me evolve as a person. I'm allowed to have different opinions to people, and we're both allowed to like cohabit on social media without being in arguments. And I thought it was such a stupid situation. I literally said, this is why I hate Twitter, and I genuinely do. I think Twitter is one of the worst platforms, not because of how the platform works, but because of the kind of people that are on there. It's so polarizing. Every opinion is this big thing that it doesn't need to be. Like, not every opinion is important. Not everything is the end all be all of life. And I was just like, this is why I hate Twitter. It sucks. People take things so seriously. I find it a lot with more my main channel, which I'm going to get into that conversation in a minute, which is I could express an opinion. It's non-problematic. Of course, if there's an opinion that I'm being super ignorant about, that's different. But, you know, opinions that like don't really, in the grand scheme of things, don't really mean anything. It's just my opinion on a situation. People will be so hurt if I don't change my opinion. And then it's, oh, she can't take criticism. She is not mature enough. She hasn't grown up. Let's just go with the same opinion of I like blue. And then in a video I say I like blue. And then people are going off saying, no, well, red's the best color. That is a fact, by the way. You're presenting your opinion as fact. But anyway, they're like, oh, red's the best color. Red is absolutely the best color. And if you don't change your mind, then you can't accept criticism and you're not holding yourself accountable and you're wrong and you're immature and you're not growing up. And it's just like, I feel like let people have opinions as long as they're not problematic. Like, for example, what was it the other day? I think Amanda Ensing, she's like a beauty guru. She filmed a video on the new election, which I didn't agree with. She can have her opinion, but I don't have to support it and I don't have to watch her videos based on who she's voting for, what human rights she believes in. She's allowed to have those opinions, but I don't have to support her based on those opinions. But then she went into the comments section and she started liking tweets about gay marriage and things that are just human rights. And at that point, I was like, that's not an opinion anymore. That is you being discriminatory against a minority group. And I think that's very different than someone just saying, hey, I'd rather be proposed to with a ring than much. And we should probably have a conversation about proposing before you just spring it up on me like that. And this is why I take so many breaks. I don't know if people notice, but I take so many breaks from Twitter. Sometimes you'll go on my Twitter and for a period of time, it's just me tweeting out my videos and nothing in between, because I feel like people are way too sensitive right now. At some point I said, I think you're just looking for something to be offended about when there are so many things in the world that we could be offended about. For example, people that are against gay marriage, Amanda Ensing. Like, there are so many things that we can actually be offended by, but we're choosing to be offended by someone's non-problematic opinion. Are we seeing the issue here? I want to use one of my Pat McGrath palette. It's like a bluey purple, and then I have this like yellow gold. I kind of want to do the gold. This is the Mothership one. It's the really cool toned one. I love it. I love it. And I'm going to use, first of all, the gold, maybe just like all over. I'm glad to not have the nail here right now because it makes it easier to apply eyeshadow and I don't have to go take a brush and do all of that stuff. So anyway, that was my thingy, is like I take so many breaks from Twitter because people can't figure out on there that people are allowed to have different opinions, and also you're allowed to express your opinion back, but don't tell me to then change my opinion because you think I should change my opinion. It's like, obviously with things like, for example, the Amanda Ensing situation, I'm bringing it up because it's like a very obvious, like, maybe just educate yourself or just try and be less ignorant, and you know what other people are doing, as long as they're not harming people, isn't affecting you. But when it comes to like how I want to be proposed to, is none of your business. And if I express that opinion on my own social media platform, I don't then have to change that opinion to make you happy. Like, I'm gonna go into last year's Hourglass Christmas palette, and I'm gonna go into this shade right here. It's very pretty. It's one of my favorite blushes. I've used it so much. And I'm just gonna do a light dusting. I used this yesterday and I love the way my cheeks look. It just gives a glow and a subtle, just a little bit of some. And you really can't go overboard with this. It just looks really pretty. Doesn't matter what you do, how much you apply, it just blends like a dream. I apply blush everywhere, mainly when it's this like shimmery, well, sheeny. I'll just swing it about kind of everywhere. I'm actually going to use today, I'm going to be wild and bold and crazy, and I'm going to use the new Kaleidos highlighter, which is supposed to be a multi-chrome. It's called Prophecy, Space Age Prophecy. It's crazy. Like, it goes from green, you're not gonna be able to see it. Let me just see if I can show it to you guys. Right, so it's like green, orange, blue. See, it's like blue here, and then orange, and then green, and back to blue. I mean, it's just crazy. So I'm gonna use it and see if I get a cast on my face. I'm just gonna dip into it very gently for now, just because it could be too dark for me and I don't want it to look crazy. I think if you apply a light dusting on like a more fair skin tone, you'll be fine, but if you go kind of crazy, you'll start to see a cast, but this would be perfect on deeper skin tones, like really pile it on for deeper skin tones, like it would look amazing. In this light, it's very orangey pinky, and then if I look kind of the other way, it will start to look blue. But on camera, you literally can't see it. It's so sad. Multi-chromes on camera are just lost. It's so pigmented as well. Like it's kind of insane. It's got such a beautiful like hot orange hue. I'm now going to do eyelashes. I forgot to do my lower lash line. That's so embarrassing. I'll just take Au Natural, and that's the only one I'm going to use. Then I'm going to take Wink Wink, which is a Super Shock, and I'm going to put that on the inner corner. I love putting Super Shocks in the inner corner. It's less powdery, so it doesn't irritate my eyes as much, because I have pretty sensitive eyes. If I get a lot of powder in my eyes, they start to water and itch me. Whereas this isn't really powder, it's kind of cream, so it helps with that. And also it just looks stunning. And then I'm going to put some on the brow bone. I really like this eye look. I think it's just very difficult to see on camera how like pinky it shifts in the inner corner. I'm just going to curl my lashes. I like to do one at a time because then it doesn't have time to drop before I apply a first layer of something. I feel like once you apply a layer, it like stays, but if you don't, it just starts to droop straight away. At least that's my lashes. They're kind of heavy. I'm applying the Kat Von D Lash Curl. Is it Epic Curl? Lash Primer in Epic Curl, yeah. I always make weird faces when I do my mascara, so I don't like to keep that footage in there because it's just funny. But it just helps me to not touch my top lid when I'm doing my mascara. I never used to be an eyelash primer girl, and with this primer, I love it. Like, I don't think I'll use any other primer than this one because I think this just works so well. That's a nice layer of primer. Now I'm going to keep on using my Pat McGrath Labs Fetishize mascara, which is just the mascara that is in my project pan. I'm trying to finish off. It's actually getting quite dry now, which means it's coming to an end. I've started doing like piling on mascara. I really like the look of a lot of mascara, but not clumpy, like never clumpy. Not spidery legs, but just like a lot of mascara. Okay, I've applied primer. This is also why I prefer more dry formulas for mascara, because I think they're easier to manage when you make a mistake, because they just dry up a little bit quicker, so you can kind of go in and try and fix it. I also, with the primer, got the No Filter Mattifying Setting Mist, and I think it's quite nice. I love Pat McGrath, I love Blitz Astral formulas. I like mixing and matching now. I like doing like a matte look with Colourpop, let's say, and then putting in a Blitz Astral, and I think it's just such a stunning look. The Kaleidos highlight is so beautiful, even on my fair skin. I think it looks stunning, but I also think it would look stunning on deeper skin tones because I think they said this has a translucent base. So all that's giving the shade is like the shimmer, but the actual base is translucent. It should go with a lot of different skin tones. Obviously, I love the primer and the setting spray. I've been using the primer with my more dewy products just to make sure that it actually holds and it doesn't get oily during the day. I was about to turn off my camera and then I realized I just didn't do a lip. Is everything okay at home, Angelika? I'm looking at myself in the mirror, like, is everything okay? Anyway, let me just do some lips. I'm gonna use my Project Pan item, which is this busted Kylie Cosmetics Forever and Always lip liner. Let me just wipe this down. And then I'm gonna go in with Dominique Cosmetics lipstick in Freckles. It's her new line of lipsticks. And I haven't been into matte lips for a while, and I think this is a look. It's comfortable, but it's matte. It still looks nice and it holds well. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, comment down below anything you wanna comment down below. Hit that bell, you'll be notified whenever I post a video. Join my channel, social media, affiliate links, any of the links in the description. I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.